again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and tidbits tied to our favorite team in the NFL, the Cleveland Browns. And then we also give you a take tied to each of those news items along the way. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, to everyone who has subscribed to the channel, almost to 9,000. When we get there, we'll change the fit for one day. Thanks to everybody who has scanned the QR code to become a member of the Browns' latest dog pound. Let's see. Timing is everything. And to all of you who get your comments down there in the viewer comment section. We are one day away, folks. 1 day away from the first game of the season. And I want to let you know that tomorrow, our show will post early for the game. We're going to post at 8 a.m. Eastern time to get you ready, get you all set up for the game at 1 p.m. So be ready for that tomorrow. We will post at 8 a.m. The show will go live. We'll do it live. Coming up on today's show, of the two teams that will be playing at Huntington Bank Field tomorrow, only one of them has been named the most unstable franchise in the NFL. A big reason we are going to beat the Bengals tomorrow, we are going to use one of our greatest strengths to expose one of Cincinnati's greatest weaknesses. We are also going to pull out the magic 8-ball pen. Here it is. It's like an 8-ball, except it's a pen. And what we're going to do is we're going to ask it questions about the season and about the game with the Bengals. Is this going to be a good show? If you're lucky, that's how it'll work. We'll do that. And then down in the viewer comments, did you hear what Jamar Chase said about one of the Cleveland's most iconic downtown landmarks? We'll get to all of it. But first things first, the final preparations for the Bengals. It's a walkthrough today, folks. That's what they'll do. But yesterday, Chad O'Shea, the wide receivers coach, talked, and he said that he's comfortable sticking any of the young guys in there if needed. And Jerry Jeudy has emerged as the leader in the room. Linebacker coach Jason Tarver says they know they got to get to Joe Burrow. He says when those linebacker blitzes are called, he says they got to roll. That's what he says. So he just waits for the call from DC Jim Schwartz, and then they got to roll. They're wearing the brown jerseys with the orange pants tomorrow. My favorite combination. I may have put a call in, and even if I did, they wouldn't have listened. But the most important thing that you need to know going into tomorrow's game is that the entire 53-man roster practiced on the final day before the big game, and that includes Myles Garrett and his sore hip. So everybody's good to go for the game tomorrow. And this is the thing, this is one of the things, when you pay these guys who are older, they just don't want to practice. And so, even, a blister becomes a medical emergency now, and so that's what I was afraid of. And this is what we're going to have to watch as the season goes along. Is he going to play through injuries like he did before? I fully expect him to, but I get it, it's practice and stuff like that. But the good news is he's fine. He will be there. We absolutely need him out there for sure. Now, how about this? Right before the big game, the Bengals get this dubious distinction. They and the Dallas Cowboys, who actually played pretty well the other night, have been voted. They're tied. They are the most unstable franchises in the NFL. And this comes out of a survey of NFL agents. So it's not like it was, it's just some guy in his basement making it up. This is legit. They surveyed the agents, and this is basically what they said about the Bengals. They said there is always some kind of issue there and not much accountability, said one of the agents. This offseason, the contract negotiation for Trey Hendrickson, the language of the contract, the first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, are great examples. He's like, every agent knows what's coming. And one agent referred to the Bengals as like a mom-and-pop ownership is what they say. And that's what they say about Dallas too, because they have, you have an 82-year-old billionaire who thinks he understands how football works today and gets in the way. And so the Bengals, I'm telling you folks, they're kind of a mess. I mean, I don't understand why everybody gives them so much respect. We are going to dismantle them tomorrow. Them and their weak offensive line and their horrible, horrible defense. And speaking of that defense, we are going to use one of our best strengths to expose one of their biggest weaknesses. I don't know if you paid attention. Last year, if you played fantasy football, you may have. But the Bengals cannot cover tight ends at all. And remember, you say, well, but Dave, that was last year. This is this year. Here's the thing. The only thing they changed was their defensive coordinator. And they're running all those same guys back. And so, for the most part, there's a couple of new faces. But most of that defense is back this year. And so here's the thing, though. Take a look at these. Take a look at the stats. This is what the Bengals did. Now, this is just, I'm not even giving you the full Monty on this. I'm giving you here. I'll give you a Cliff Notes version. This is how badly the Bengals struggled with tight ends last year. They gave up about 6 receptions a game. The 1,114 yards, most surrendered to the position by any team. They also ranked in the bottom 3 for touchdowns. They gave up 10. 65 yards a game they averaged. They gave up this is just tight ends. Look at all the 100-yard games they gave up. Look at the numbers. 100-yard games to tight. They gave up 152 to the Raiders, 151 to the Chiefs, 102 to Pittsburgh, 105 to Philly. Then there's a couple of other games. They had an 89 and a 96-yard game, Denver and Pittsburgh again. They let the tight ends catch 14 balls and 12 balls in those games. The Raiders game that you see on the screen, the 152-yard, that was 13 catches. So teams are they're like, well, you can't cover them, so we're just going to keep throwing it to them. And guess what? We got 2. We got 2 you can't cover. Harold Fanan Jr. and David Njoku. And so, we've been talking about this for weeks, the connection with Joe Flacco and David Njoku. So that is really there's one of your first things to watch. We'll do all that tomorrow, but that's something to pay attention to, folks. The Bengals can't cover tight ends, and so hopefully they pick up where they left off last year, because our tight ends are one of our greatest strengths, especially in the Stefanski offense. And so we are going to tear them up. Njoku will have like 10 catches. Fanon will have like 10 catches. They'll each go for like 140 yards and a couple of touchdowns. And so it's going to be fun to watch. It's going to be fun to see. Now, speaking of fun, I thought we'd have a little bit of fun today because I busted out the Magic 8-Ball pen. It is like a Magic 8-Ball. You know, the thing you shake up. You ask it a question, you shake it up, and you look at it for the answer. This is like that, except it's a pen. And you don't shake it. You push the button. And then you get your thing. And so I thought, okay, let's ask it some questions and see what the Magic 8-Ball pen thinks about the Browns season. And the first question we are going to ask the Magic 8-Ball pen, here, I want to get it here so you can just see me click, and then, will the Browns win more than 6 games this season? Not for $1 million. So that means they're going to win 10. Here you go. This is one everybody wants to know the answer to this question. Is Myles Garrett going to record a sack tomorrow? No brainer. No brainer. Can you see that? No brainer, says the Magic 8-Ball pen. How about this one? Will Shedeur Sanders be the starting quarterback for the Browns at some point this season? How about that? If you're lucky, that's what I'm talking about. See, the Magic 8-Ball pen knows football. Knows Shedeur will be our quarterback at some point this season. Okay, we'll end on this one. Will the Browns beat the Bengals tomorrow? Oh, God. Brother. Okay, so much for the Magic 8-Ball pen. All right, now let's get to the viewer comments, because you know what? I got a prediction for you. Here's your prediction, Mr. Magic 8-Ball pen. Viewer comments are always good. And we're going to start with M. Molina, who says, "Here comes the boom, Joey B." I like that movie with Kevin James and Henry Winkler. That's a great movie. It's also going to look good on Joey B, even though the Magic 8-Ball pen says it's not. The Magic 8-Ball pen is not always right. Here Comes the Boom is right. And speaking of that, like that defensive front we talked about, and I'm glad everybody's healthy. Garrett's healthy, and it's going to be critical for Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome, those guys on the outside to cover, especially Ward against Chase. And did you hear what Chase said about the dog pound? They asked him, they're like, if you scored a touchdown, would you jump into the dog pound? And he said, no, I heard people get stabbed in there. Now, he was kidding. That was kind of funny. And so he was just, he was having some fun. But I was like, all right, Jamar, I'll give you that one. But he said, no, he doesn't want to jump in the dog pound because he doesn't want to get stabbed. So no, don't stab Jamar if he's not jumping in there anyway because he's not scoring. I can tell you that. Brendan Job, 7286. The bungholes aren't prepared for a back alley fist fight with the Browns. Joey B is going to be running for his life while his leaky offensive line struggles to give him 2.5 seconds to throw the ball. Brendan Job, 7286. I am picking up what you're putting down. That is what I envision happening when the Browns that defense is out there, just keeping Joe Flacco on skates, man. And just he's going to have his head on a swivel. We'll be coming at him from all directions. This is a completely different look the Browns will be showing this year on defense. Seawolf 575 says, Burrow's comments about Myles Garrett shows exactly how drafting Mason Graham was a great move. Everyone is focused on Garrett, and all the teams are used to doubling him as the only vaguely effective way of stopping him, which leaves Graham and the rest of the defensive line open to drive towards Burrow. And that's exactly what we've been talking about for weeks, for months, ever since they drafted Mason Graham. And that's what I'm saying, folks. We might be sitting here Monday and you go, oh, Graham, he didn't even have a sack. And he had a couple tackles. It's not really about that. But it might be. If he gets the one-on-ones, he'll have the big games. But it's more about making that offensive line decide, who are you going to double? You going to double Myles Garrett? You going to double McGuire? You going to double Mason Graham? What are you going to do? Because the second you double one of those guys, one of the other guys has got a one-on-one, and he's going to beat you, and he's going to get to the quarterback. And so that is going to play out as this game goes along. So I'm going to have my eyes on Graham tomorrow for sure, along with Myles. I mean, usually I'm watching Myles, but Mason Graham, I'm telling you, that and Seawolf, you are 100% correct. That was why they did it. That is exactly why they did it. Jeff Tucker says, I think Bubba Ventrone's job is on the line. Special teams have been bad. I don't think you're wrong, Jeff Tucker. Ventrone, he talked the other day, of course, huge move, keeping Andre Holy Schmidt over Dustin Hopkins. It starts there. I mean, Bojorquez is an android. I think he was created in a lab, so you don't have anything to worry about the punting game. But, it goes hand in hand. You got to have all facets of your special teams working together. And if hopefully this, I have all full confidence in Schmidt. They do. I mean, they said it was the right thing to do. So, but Jeff Tucker, I think you're right. We'll have to wait and see how the season plays out. But I don't think Ventrone. I think there'll be a lot of eyes on him. Okay, we'll end with 97 Buckeye Guy, who says, I give you a lot of crap in the comments section, Grizzer, but I want to give you props for actually saying Quinshon Judkins' name correctly, his last name. Every other YouTube Browns guy I watch keeps calling him Junkins. Mike Junkins played for us years ago, and he was okay. But Judkins is the guy we drafted this year. He says, it drives me crazy, Buckeye Guy says. Also, I don't think I heard you say, he's a great job, go Browns. All right. Thank you, 97 Buckeye Guy. Thank you so much. I don't know. I do mess up every once in a while. Like, I don't know if you noticed yesterday, I meant to say Shedeur Sanders, and I said Joe Burrow, because, you just, like I say, you talk fast, you don't know. I mean, plus, you got to work all these buttons and stuff. Like, there's a lot going on. It gets busy around here in the Browns' latest studio. But, all right, folks, we are one day away. We got college football today. The Buckeyes are going to destroy Grambling. Why that game's even on the schedule, I have no idea. But Some of the young guys will get in. Maybe we'll get to see Drago throw some passes today. I don't know. Enjoy the college football. And then remember tomorrow, 8 a.m., we're going to post early tomorrow because it is game 1 of the NFL season for our Cleveland Browns. We are going to beat the Bengals. I've already thrown the Magic 8-ball pen in the garbage because the Magic 8-ball pen said we're not going to win, but the Magic 8-ball pen is wrong because we have the Magic football. And nobody can overcome the magic of the power of the football. So there you go. All right. Have fun today. We'll talk tomorrow. Go Browns. We'll see you next time.